Welcome, Army fans. Joe Icono, GoBlackKnights.com, along with Army H-back slash tight end slash B-back Tyson Riley, becoming like old slash Cordell Stewart back in the day for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mr. All Everything on offense. Tyson, got to ask you, how did it feel lining up in the flex bone on Saturday, being able to carry the ball and just do what you did really your first 3 years at the academy?
Yeah, it was super fun. Kind of gave me a feeling of nostalgia. I would say I was kind of caught a little off guard, just going into the game, just like with the prior weeks, kind of only playing tight end and how it had gone this season. And then if it wasn't for Jacoby getting a little tired in there, I probably wouldn't have even played that much. But just when my opportunity came, like I just followed what the coaches like taught me throughout the week and trusted my fundamentals.
Oh, wow. So that's amazing. I mean, it sounds like you weren't necessarily even expecting to go in back there. Maybe didn't have a ton of practice reps. For the fans watching out there, what's that like? Is it like riding a bike? It just kind of comes back to you pretty quickly, or, that's amazing to me. So explain that kind of mental process a little bit for us.
Yeah, so like all the plays we've done before. So I would say it's kind of like riding a bike in that sense, but it's just been so long. Like if you haven't rode a bike in a while, you might get to wobbling the wheels a little bit.
Right.
Just going in there and just having full confidence in my O-line that they're going to do their job, so I don't have to do any crazy plays or anything. Just do what I've been taught to do and follow them.
Let me ask you another question. I'm really just spitballing on this one. I really have no idea. I'm curious to see what your answer is. Based on the new offense, the offensive line has kind of had to sustain blocks longer than they have in the past. Did you think that helped them actually create bigger holes in the flex bone for you guys Saturday?
I wouldn't say that it was anything like you got to understand. Those carries yesterday were my first carries since the very first game.
Right.
So I'm usually the one like trying to create the holes. So I have no real opinion on either way. Like my only carries in the first game were kind of on the outside, but I definitely thought that it was back. Like it was like just tough Army football. A lot of my runs, if you watch, are just me getting behind Lucas Scott, Jackson Flippowitz, and just kind of riding their blocks with Nuke and Buck and Brady Small and Bo, just following them and just turning my feet. Like they're not me making anyone miss. So I'd say they did a very good job of sustaining blocks. And Coach Viti just kind of giving them like pointers and stuff, like not necessarily trying to cut them, but staying up so I can just turn my feet without worrying about stepping on anyone or getting tripped up. So I don't have a definite answer for you on that question, but I definitely thought the O-line did very good.
Yeah, I mean, they were amazing, right? I mean, you talk about how it was a little bit of an adjustment for you, had to be a little bit of an adjustment for them as well. And everybody who watched the game was like, wow, the offensive line looked the best they've looked all year. I mean, they looked absolutely amazing. So really good. Really good to see those guys go out and do that. You guys had a big win Saturday. You've got a lot of momentum now going into the biggest game of the year, right? 3 straight wins. Obviously, that has nothing to do with how you guys come out and perform in 3 Saturdays or 2 Saturdays from now, whatever it is. But let's talk about that. There is a 3-week gap in between games, which the last couple of years there's only been a 2-week gap. How do you, as a firstie and one of the leaders on the team, kind of keep the energy up and keep the focus up? During kind of the bye weeks, I'm sure the team will be all crazy amped up the week of the game. But how do you keep the focus up so that you can get the most productivity out of the practices tomorrow and then next week after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think it's just intrinsic in our culture. Coach Munkin preaches on it, harps on it. The captains, the leaders on the team, just staying focused. Like we've been presented this opportunity to have an extra week on top of the 2 weeks we usually have to play Navy, and just keeping everyone honed in on like what we need to do to get to our goal, which is to win this game. Just kind of how we've worked throughout the year at practice. Obviously, there's been good days, bad days, but there's a strong correlation with those good days and the results that we get on Saturdays. So I would I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that would want to trade like a hard day of practice for a loss in 3 weeks. So I bet you everyone's going out there giving their all, even though Thanksgiving's coming up, because at the end of the day, we want to win that game in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. It's especially it's Army Navy's super important for everybody on the team. Actually, I mean everybody in the Corps, all the grads, everyone, right? But for the seniors especially, potentially the last time you'll be strapping up your chin strap to play football after a long, successful career against Navy with an opportunity to win the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. I'm sure you've thought about that. I know in a couple Saturdays, it's just going to be execute the play in front of you, but I'm sure you've thought about that. What would it mean? I asked Q Hammonds the same question. What would it mean to walk away from the program with a win in a couple Saturdays and walking away with the Commander-in-Chief's trophy?
It would mean everything. Like this year, like you said, potentially is our last game, most likely. So, I mean, like this is like everything. Lay it on the line. I've obviously been here the last 3 Army Navy games, and I believe 2 of those we had bowl games, so you have another game after that. But like last year, like that was really like a lay it on the line. Like you probably don't have another game after this scenario for those seniors. And for me, like people say like go out there and like leave it on the field. But like in your head, you're like, yeah, I have another game after this though. Like I have more years after this, but this like could very well be it for me. So I kind of want to see what it feels like to like really go out there and like, hey, this is all you got. This is all you're guaranteed. So like I said, this is pretty much our whole season down to 1 week. I feel like we're gonna be ready.
Good. And at this point in the season, you've been through 11 games now, or there's obviously some wear and tear, so a couple weeks off helps. How are you feeling overall, health-wise, endurance-wise, all that stuff?
I'm good. This year I've been able to not miss any time. So that's a blessing. Just trying to get the rest of the members of our team healthy to get ready to play in a few weeks.
Right. And we'll get into some fun questions now. So Tyson, Nike released the uniforms and all the gear to the general public today. What'd you think of that? Third ID, looks pretty cool. Do you guys how's that work for the players? Have you guys received all your game day gear yet? Have you seen what that looks like? Chance to break in the gloves and the cleats or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have downstairs just a mannequin up so you can kind of see if you've seen any pictures of like what kind of went down today with the reveal. We have like a mannequin with that jersey on there with the 3. We have our cleats so far. So I got to take a little sneak peek at those. It was pretty cool. And today, in some of my time off, I went to the store and purchased an item for myself.
Nice.
Just to, update my Army Navy game collection. But that's what we got so far. I'm really excited to put that uniform on. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So with that being the case, I just learned from Q Hammonds. I actually thought branch night had happened already because they used to do it in November, but I guess it's not. What's your first pick for branch?
Field artillery.
FA. All right. Good stuff. And what's your major over there at West Point?
I'm an international affairs major.
International affairs major. All right. And what are your plans for Thanksgiving weekend? You going to get to go home, see the family, go? Cool. Where are you from?
Mount Vernon, Missouri. So tomorrow I'm flying out, going home for a few days and coming back on a Sunday.
Okay. I think our Army fans are going to criticize me for not knowing you were from Missouri, but apparently that state produces really good fullbacks. So
something like that.
So you guys are known for. That's good stuff. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tyson. Army fans, I am not going to ask him what look Army's going to come out in 2 weeks against Navy. I'm not here to give away any game plans. Sorry. So we'll all just have to be surprised on the 9th. So enjoy it. Tyson, appreciate your time tonight. Thank you very much. Have a very happy Thanksgiving.